Hi, my name is Melissa Stern. I'm here in Chicago at Firecat Projects, and this is my show called Does She or Doesn't She? And does she or doesn't she? That is the question, right? I have long been fascinated by that phrase. And it's about women and their hair and identity and how we identify ourselves and possibilities. And as I was starting to put this show together, I did research and I found that Does She or Doesn't She was actually the first copywriting ad slogan where a woman was given credit, was given actual credit for writing the slogan. And at the same time, it's about selling product, and it's about selling an idea to women that they can reinvent themselves through how their hair looks. And this ad went on for years and years and years, decades. And it was interesting because they always photographed the ad of, a very beautiful looking woman with beautiful hair. She always had a child with her. So she was wholesome. She was a mom, right? But the idea that, does she have an inner life? It took about a year to make. And during that time, we went through the COVID lockdown, and women became obsessed with not being able to get their hair cut. And I, too, felt this different relationship with my hair. It sounds kind of weird, I know, but everybody wanted to get a haircut. And so the idea of hair then took on another idea because it was about having the freedom to go get your hair cut. My hair is fuzzy in the background, and then there are these aggressive, straight-ish lines that are what my imagining of what straight hair would feel like when I was a child. And a lot of these pieces are based on my memories of growing up as a child in the 60s when everybody had long, straight hair and I didn't. And what we did to make our hair look like everybody else's. And for a long time, I've been working in a whole mixture of materials. I started out as a sculptor. I'm still a sculptor. And I used to make sculptures and draw. And in the past several years, I've been combining them. So I have a lot of pieces in this show that have a dimensionality. There are drawings, and then there are pieces that pop into a third dimension. And I'm using found objects, collage elements from old Life magazines, or using encaustic. There's a piece called Beehive, where the woman literally has a beehive on her head, and it's covered in wax. What I really love is when I can make work that does jog a memory or a thought or a story from someone. I think in some ways these pieces are very much about storytelling. Does she or doesn't she bring up a memory for you or a thought? Hey, do you like your hair? Do we all like our hair? How does it feel to lose your hair? The possibilities are endless, and that's what I'm interested in, are really the possibilities. Throughout the 20th century, certainly the 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, up until today, women have been held to all sorts of beauty regimes and beauty standards that to some extent were dictated by the media, being skinny enough, your nose being the right shape, your hair being right. And that obviously eroded sometime in the 70s, and new norms and standards came in the 80s when women had to look a certain corporate way to climb up the corporate ladder. And, forever we've done things to make ourselves look different, right? Makeup. Oh my God, I come from an era, I remember my mother never left the house without, and she had this great phrase, she would call it putting my face on. She always had to put her face on. And which, even as a kid, I remember thinking that difference, that tension between the inside face and the outside face, putting your face on, right? What an amazing phrase. I have those memories, and yet the era I've grown up in, and certainly now that times have changed pretty radically in the past year, I think it has affected and will continue to affect how women think about their appearance and what they do. And, there's now classes on Zoom on how to put on Zoom makeup because Zoom makes your face look certain ways. Hair coloring, all these things are, those industries are in a weird state of flux. And I think women's identities are gonna, I hope, I don't know, I'm not being judgmental, maybe they'll come out of this little time nugget different, as we can't get haircuts when we want to. I know a lot of women who are saying, I'm gonna let my hair go gray. So the answer to does she or doesn't she is, she doesn't. So it's, it feels like a very odd, interesting time, for sure, and an interesting time to have an exhibition that is about how women present themselves and how they feel and what we do and don't do to put on our face to the outside world. Please come see the show, and for more information you can contact me at melissa-stern.com. Tell me what you think. Take a look at my website. Email me. Tell me about your hair. Tell me what you think. Tell me what you feel. And see ya.